the entire discussion about what's not good about the school system falls on their shoulders. I mean, you hear this in just about every comment that comes out of here today. And then when this gal talked about what burdens the expectation the most, their inability to bring results, is burdened by societal problems, by cultural problems. And we have in the room a principal who, when this gal asked the question, how would you address the fundamental problem teachers have with being able to help performance in the classroom? Your answer was, you gave a number of answers, and one of them was, we want to identify the parents of the children. Right off the bat. We want to know who the parents are so we can hold them accountable for parenting. There was clucking of the tongue and oh my God and rolling of the eyeballs and groaning and moaning, and I'm thinking to myself, how do these teachers have a fighting chance? It's one thing to be in administration. I was a substitute teacher for 3 years. My mother was a public educator for 42 years. My child's going to ECU on an academic scholarship to be a public school teacher. How do these teachers have a fighting chance to meet the expectations society has of the results they think they need to produce if administrators don't even think it's a worthy exercise to identify who the parents of the children are? We have serious cultural issues related to accountability, and if we can't get school administrators to stand up and say that is a big problem for these teachers, then they're always going to be discouraged. And it is so discouraging for me to sit here as a mother of a child wanting desperately to serve in that profession, for that voice to not be heard loud enough. I'm tired of the non-teacher unions. I'm tired of all the professional associations. They all have competing interests as far as I'm concerned, separate and distinct from the teachers in the classroom. They are burdened by the expectations of the communities. They can't get a half a penny sales tax increase to give more money. They're paying for supplies out of their pocket. Somebody needs to separate the interests in the school systems. Set aside administrators, set aside those people who are perpetuating their own industries, and talk realistically about what teachers need in order to be able to effectively teach. And I think we're hugely missing that question being able to be asked and the answers being proposed. And there's way too defensive a posture in the discussion overall, in my opinion. We have got to hear from these folks. They have to be willing to talk. And we all need to be able to honestly discuss the possibilities of solutions without preconceived notions, in my opinion. I thank you, honestly, for coming and being willing to be a part of the dialogue, but most particularly, as a person in the community, I thank these teachers for coming out and sharing what they're coming
Yeah, thank you, Holly. We've got to get, the only way we're going to move this thing forward is, you teachers work in teams, you work together. I hear the teachers today call me and tell me that they were happy for the younger teachers, but they said, well, but here I am now 10 years of service, and I've actually helped this younger teacher get to where they are today, and now we're only separated by $4,000 or whatever. I mean, these are all valid points. I get it. But we have got to quit if nothing else comes out of this tonight. And I pray to God, dear Lord, I hope to God that this does happen. That we can stop the blame game. Who's responsible? You did this to me. No, you're doing a lousy job. You know where we're going to be 5 years from now? Having the same discussion. We need to say, something, maybe I could do a little bit better in the classroom. Maybe there are some problems I got to keep imposing this guilt upon myself, because really, I think I learned tonight, this isn't, thanks to this woman back here in the back, that this isn't all our fault. And this gentleman talking about poverty, absolutely valid. I mean, these are, you said you wanted to get to the root of it, and that basically is the root of it. So one thing will help us correct another thing that will help us correct another thing. But what we need to do is we need to get beyond the partisan divide as it relates to this particular issue. We all have ideas on how we think we best can arrive at a destination. In this particular case, we are all going to the same destination. We're all traveling to get to the same point. We want the same results. We want what's better for our teachers, for our children. We want our teachers to be making a living wage, a wage that they can be proud of. We want to try and eliminate some of the obstacles that our teachers are having to face in the classroom and every day. And some of that we may be able to help with legislatively. As I say, we cannot legislate morality, but there are things we can do to create accountability. And then, the local school boards, for God's sake, take a look at every single person that serves on your local school board. Find the best possible people that you can possibly seek out anywhere to run for the school board. People who understand the issues, who want to help, who aren't just there to say yes to the superintendent, to bow and genuflect to the superintendent. You've got superintendents making $140,000, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year and more. Up in Currituck, big money, and she gets a house. I mean, jeepers, creepers, folks. And who's giving all these raises out that aren't giving the raises to you? Because in the final, with the local supplement, the school boards are the one that decide if you're going to get a local supplement or not and how much that supplement is going to be. So if they're saying, oh yeah, the superintendent's doing a great job, let's give her another $15,000 or him another $10,000. But the teachers, well, let the state worry about that. That's not our problem. It's all of our problems. The feds, the state, and the localities. If we can grasp onto that, and if we can begin, let us do what we're doing. And I think we're on the right road as far as teacher salaries and conditions are concerned. We are on the right road. I would encourage anybody, from what I know now is being discussed in the General Assembly, I would encourage anybody, any young person I know, and I've written so many letters this year recommending people to graduate school or colleges for education. Because if there was a good time, and this is the story we hear from all over, who would want to be a teacher? My God, the conditions are terrible. They have to put up, look what they have to put up with in the classroom from the kids and so on and so forth. And that's the persona. And so you got people, good kids, who would be wonderful teachers, who aren't going into the profession because it's being taught down. This is if I had to do all over again, I'd have been a teacher. I've said that to everybody. I think I said it to you when you were over at the house. I'd have been retired, had my pension, off to do another career. That's where I loved teaching. I loved it. But other people want that opportunity. They want a chance to work with the kids. And we need to give them that opportunity. The first, try to have some faith in me that we're doing the right thing. I can't, at some point in time, you're going to have to put your trust into somebody. You either cannot trust me or you're going to trust me. But the one thing I can tell you is I'm not going to lie to you. That much you can put in the bank. Try and find one. You'll never find it. I don't lie. It's the truth. The truth hurts. You don't like to hear it. But for us to move on, to get beyond this space where we are right now, if we don't first of all identify the truth, then we're going nowhere. We're going to be fighting each other all the way, and we'll make incremental improvements. But incremental improvements are not what it's going to take. We need major improvements in education on every level. And I promise you this, I will be with you. We're not going to agree on everything. We can't. It's impossible. Some of you don't like charters, you don't like school choice. I do. That's okay. But I'm not walking away from the public school system. You're most of the teachers that are going to be handling our kids for the next 2 decades. You think I'm going to desert you? There's no way. I mean, I'd have to be insane. And it would bring our economy down to a screeching halt. As Owen pointed out correctly, it is the first thing that people, well, they look at taxes first. That's what gets them here. They're low taxes. Is housing affordable? It looks like the legislature is finally, for those who live in Elizabeth City, finally got a handle on the energy cost. I mean, after God knows how long, we finally got a handle on that. That's going to put money in people's pockets. And we are absolutely, unequivocally going to move this ship forward. It's on its way. Good things are happening. They're going to continue to happen, but I can't do it alone. And I don't want to be spending time on Facebook or any place else fighting and justifying every single move that we're trying to make and having somebody question me every step of the way. I want you to see where we are now. I want you to see where we have come in the last year, and I want you to understand where we're trying to go. But don't question every gosh darn it, oh, that's not good, oh my God, this, that. I don't want to hear it. If you haven't got anything positive or constructive to say to me, don't call me. I don't want to hear from you. But if you've got something positive and constructive to say, and you've got a solution, something that we can try that will work, then damn it, you contact me, you call me at my house, you come and sit at my front porch, you sit in front of my fireplace, you come to Raleigh, I'm there. And I'm going to be there for you. At that, I'm going to conclude my remarks, and I thank you very much. God bless you all, and thank you for coming.
Would all the teachers in the room stand up, just so we can identify who's the teachers?
All the teachers.
If you have a card and you want us to contact you to help you, I just had a good conversation with a young lady out in the hall. If you've got some things you'd like us to work with you
We've got some cards up here that you could
just leave
write
your
on.
contact information so we can get